my name is Tracy Summer. I work with the Fire Marshal's Office in the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department. Today we're here to talk to you about holiday safety, and we would like for you to remember some holiday safety tips when it comes to decorating your home. One of the first things we want to make sure everyone knows about is candle safety. Recently we've had several fires that candles have contributed to, and we want to make sure that everyone uses them safely. Make sure that you keep your candle wicks trimmed low so they don't flame up over the holders. Usually about a ½ inch over the candle is a good rule of thumb. Make sure that you also have a steady base to hold the candle in so they don't tip over. Another safety tip we want you to remember when using candles, make sure you don't leave them burning unattended in a room. If you go out of a room, make sure you blow your candles out. One of the main focal points of any holiday decoration is the Christmas tree. Whether it is a live tree or an artificial tree, there are certain safety tips that we want you to use to make sure that your tree is safe. One of the main tips to remember is if you're using a fresh cut tree, make sure you don't use a tree that is dried out prematurely. Run your fingers down the limbs and the needles and make sure that they don't fall off in your hand. Or you can tap the tree on the ground and make sure that the needles don't fall off that way either. You can also take one of the branches and bend it to check for freshness. If the branch bends and then springs back after you let it go, then it's probably a fresh tree. If it snaps or breaks, it's probably dried out and you'll want to choose another tree. If you're cutting a live tree, make sure that you cut about a ½ inch off the bottom and keep the trunk submerged in water. It's very important to water your tree every day. If the tree dries out, the sap will go to the bottom of the trunk and seal it, preventing water from being absorbed through the tree. This will cause your tree to dry out and make a bigger fire hazard for your home. Also, we ask that you never use candles to light your tree. We've seen that in the past. This isn't a good practice. Because live trees dry out quickly, keep your Christmas tree away from windows or vents or anywhere you would have a natural or man-made draft. Whether you're using a live tree or an artificial tree, there are certain safety precautions that you will need to take. You need to make sure that your lights are UL listed and tested to ensure that they're safe. Check the cords and make sure that they're not frayed. Make sure that your plugs are in good shape. Make sure there's a bulb in every light strand, and don't have too many lights together at one time. This will create an overload and will prematurely short out your lights, creating a fire hazard. Make sure your lights don't come in contact with ornaments, wrapping paper or bows, or even the packages themselves. This could create heat and make a fire hazard for your home. A final safety precaution that we want to make sure that you use with your Christmas tree is to make sure that you unplug your lights before you go to bed or leave your home. Don't leave lights burning unattended, whether they're inside or outside your home. Unattended cooking is one of the major causes of residential fires in the United States. One of the tips that we want to make sure that you know about is when you do cook, make sure that you have your pot handles or your skillet handles turned inward. That way, small children or clothing can't catch the handles and dump the contents of the pots and pans onto you or onto the floor, thereby starting a grease fire. If you have a grease fire, the first thing you need to remember is do not ever put water on it to try to extinguish it. Water will only enhance a grease fire. Use your fire extinguisher or exit your house and call 911 and let the professionals come handle your emergency. Another safety tip we want you to remember during the holiday season and also for the cold winter months ahead is fireplace safety. Several people have fireplaces that utilize gas logs or wood-burning fires. It's very important to have your fireplaces inspected on an annual basis and make sure that it's in good working condition. Make sure there are no cracks in your liner or in the flue. Also remember that if you're using a gas log fire, make sure that you have a working carbon monoxide detector in your home. If you have one of these and the alarm goes off, the first thing you need to do is leave your house and call 911. Let us come out and check your house for carbon monoxide. We can ventilate it and also pinpoint where the source of the leak is in your home. The next safety tip we want to share with you is that of fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers need to be kept in every home. We see fires in kitchens, bedrooms, and every other part of the house. It's very important to have a quick line of defense against fires. Fire extinguishers are an inexpensive tool that will help you put out small fires in your home. There are a couple of safety tips we want to make sure that you know about. Fire extinguishers need to be checked annually. Make sure that your gauges show full. Make sure that the hoses are in good shape. If you have a dry powder extinguisher, make sure the powder is not caked up. You can shake the extinguisher or invert it, and this will help loosen up the powder on the inside of the extinguisher. Another major concern with fire extinguishers is to make sure you know how to use them properly. There are directions printed on the extinguisher, but you need to make sure you know how to use the extinguisher before there's a fire in your home. If you should have a fire, that is not the time to try to read directions and utilize your extinguisher. If the fire is just too big, don't use the extinguisher. Get out of the house, call 911, and let the professionals handle your emergency. Another very important safety tip that we want you to remember this holiday season and all year long is that of having working smoke detectors in your home. This is your first line of defense in any big fires. All big fires once started out as small fires, and smoke detectors are designed to pick up the smoke from these small fires before they get big. It is so very important to have smoke detectors. Please make sure you have them in every bedroom, make sure you have them in living areas, and make sure you have them in the hallways outside of your bedrooms. If you do not have working smoke detectors, please call the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department at 893-1422. We will be happy to come out and install those for you free of charge. We want to make sure that everyone has working smoke detectors in your home all year long. The Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department would like you to remember these safety tips not only during this holiday season, but all year long. If you have other questions or concerns or need further information, please call the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department or call the Fire Marshal's office at 893-1422, and we will be happy to assist you.